Merci, Monsieur le Vice-Président. Mr. Deputy Speaker, before coming to my comments on the budget, I have 2 points to make. First, I listened carefully on Saturday night on TV, on radio, more or less on radio, the comments made by the Deputy Transfuge, new porte-parole of the MSM in their weekly press conference. And he stated, Reza Outim fait honte à la jeunesse motion. This is what stated, le député transfuge du numéro 13, maintenant porte-parole du MSM. You know, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, what la jeunesse de l'île Maurice dit. Parce que la jeunesse n'aime pas les transfuges. La jeunesse n'aime pas les gens qui changent de camp. Il y a une étiquette mauve, après le soleil, d'un coup, monsieur pour dans Karokan, une étiquette même pareil, et pas pour dans le numéro 13. Mr. Deputy Speaker, let me congratulate my good friend, my young friend who is president of our party, Honorable Outim, for his excellent delivery and speech. You may agree or not agree on what he has said on the issues, but he, as a young MP on his second mandate, I have to congratulate him. And I tell him he will have a long career in politics for the years to come. And we are very proud in our party to have him as president and our porte-parole for economic affairs. And even on social media and in the press, many people have commended him for the points he has made and on his delivery. The second point I have to make, Mr. Deputy Speaker, notwithstanding, I not make it personal, but notwithstanding what was the verdict of a Maid Point, the Privy Council on Maid Point. But the fact remains, we have been here in Parliament, we have asked PQ ourselves, then we have made public meetings, but the fact remains that 144 million rupees plus VAT out of the public coffers was paid. And the valuer, who once lost his memory, that was in court, in Père Memoire, he could not have remembered how 75 came to 144. The fact that cannot be denied, but this Maid Point scandal will haunt the MSM, private council or no private council, and it will remain the mother of all scandals. This is a point I had to make. Government, on the other side, they raised a lot of temper, were very angry, but the fact remains 144 million rupees was paid, and one valuer lost his memory and could not remember how this 175 came to 144. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the budget speech epitomizes the desperate act of a government that has been showing over the month arrogance and ignominy in the conduct of public affairs. This is known. We have live TV, it's reported in the press, arrogance and ignominy. Opacity in the awards of state contracts. That is, state capture must be decried in Africa. Again, here in Parliament, we have asked and we have said that there is a lot of opacity. Defiance and contempt when confronted with its failing excessors. Colère généralisée. Defiance and contempt when confronted with its failing excessors. Resistance and hostility to provide proper replies, and at times no reply at all to parliamentary questions. As at to date, 134 questions have not been replied. And we are reaching the end of this mandate. By now, 134 questions sans réponse. Je n'ai pas eu le temps d'aller vérifier quel ministre c'est à la bibliothèque, on peut le savoir. And I hope, what I was made to understand last time, the Prime Minister is on the hit list, was on the hit list of those who have not submitted replies here to Parliament. And I hope there have been replies on his part. If not, he will be hit on the top of the list. And also what's been happening since December 2014. comforting posture in accommodating political transfuge in search of green pastures, and the list goes on, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I will revert to some later on. This is the state of affairs nearly at the end of this mandate, and the population of Mauritius knows what's happening. The government won't be able to hide the state of affairs. Mr. Deputy Speaker, a culture of impunity has infiltrated the body politics of this government and has plagued the very nature of what democracy stands for. Week after week, here in Parliament, we have denounced scandals, usurpation of legitimate rights of our citizens, renvoi des élections villageoises, corruption, malpractices exposed but brushed aside by government in this day. Week after week we have asked, we have queried government in parliamentary questions, we have made our point in the different budgets, but week after week, month after month, and now here, with mandate is coming to its end, no change at all. Who does not remember, but now I still remember what was said, that the now famous mantra of a minister, government is government, and government decides. That was said. And now the same minister, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is caught in another controversy, but hurts the sensibility of an important segment of our society. What a shame. This is a fact, and everybody in Mauritius knows what has been said in the past, what is being said now. How can I forget, Mr. Deputy Speaker, when I ask, I refer to PQ B28 or 28th March 2017, replied by Dr. Husnu, who was transferred to the Ministry of This parliamentary question replied by itself on the state of affairs of the Trust Fund for Specialized Medical Care by the former director of the Trust Fund. What has happened there? The case had to go to a fact-finding committee presided by Mr. Ojaib, referred to the ICAC. The director had to resign. And we all know the saga, what happened there. From what I understood, Mr. How can you imagine? Had its reputation. We have been there. We have been having our blood check there. One of the state of heart hospital in the region. Whiskey board black label on whiskey board through funds provided by the Trust Fund at the supermarket in the north. Essentially, was on whiskey. And why up to now? The case has been referred to ICAC. I'm just making my take note of what I'm saying. Up to now, no concrete action on the report. We have PQs. The Prime Minister has informed us that the case was referred to. Yes, what has been the result? Like Lechiwa and PRG of the famous file. We are really reaching our mandate. For another case. Look, this is one. It's only one. B21. On the IBA. The director IBA had to resign. Again, referred to ICAC. Nothing happens. But the director has submitted her resignation. She was presented as an MSM candidate. The other one was campaign manager of VML. But what has been the estimate, apart from these two resigning? Qui étaient les complices de ces deux cas? I'm just stating two cases, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I will now turn to statement made in previous budgets, because we are at the end of this budget. What has been said? The first budget. Who does not remember the magician minister of miracles nationalized, announcing here in pomp and Fonfort in January 2015. The Jumeirah Company of Dubai will construct not a 5-star, 7-star hotel in Pointe de Lascar. 7-star hotel, nothing new. And the cemetery of Pointe Lascar, Mr. Merton knows this region, Pointe de Lascar. We tried to develop this Pointe de Lascar since 2000 when we were 2000, 2005. Nice place. 7-star hotel, nothing. What about the gold refinery and exchanges? For gold transaction in Mauritius, announced again the Madison first budget. The list of his bluff is long. I'm referring to the first Minister of Finance post-election, and I will let him rest in his political cave. The Deputy Prime Minister. His replies, theatric replies, trying to impress us, is legendary. We all remember his assessment on the credibility of Sobrino, following his eye diagnostic concerning the investment of financial propriety of his friend. We all know the collapse of the Royal Park complex, where Sobrino would have invested massively from his Angola cut, is a stark reminder. On the water sector, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this 24/7 put us dans la grosse bande, especially the Deputy Prime Minister. Actually, we have been told, through the press, radio, reservoirs throughout the country are all brimful, full. Yet consumers, in our own constituency, myself and my colleague, I can give proof. Albion, for the past weeks, days, water, people complaining. Yesterday, I went to Petite Rivière, Camp des Embrivades, à l'État marin, Canon Casey, always within the region of Petite Rivière. And in the south, even l'Escalier in number 13, people had to go to street protest. And here, but anyway, I have to put on record my appreciation for the staff of the CW. We have been working in difficult times, in difficult situations, going to the people, having insults, problem of tankers, but the staff of the CWA, I'm not mentioning names, but deserve our support and conduction. They have been working in difficult conditions. The Bagatelle Dam, we have to wait again. The Rivière des Anguilles Dam, identified for more than 5 years ago, has suffered a checkered history. And the Belta made yet another proviso for its design. A long and painful wait for the consumers in the region, especially in constituency number 13. What about this trademark project, the reform of the water sector through AFMR or the CWA? So many PQs have been asked here. The Deputy Prime Minister stated at the beginning of his mandate, but this project was an article of faith which finally ended in his long list of failures. I won't talk on the LNG project and the combined cycle gas turbines saga and the humiliation handed over to him on that project. On the agricultural sector, especially on the sugar sector, I will only lament the fate of the world-renowned MSIRI and the leadership of past directors it used to attract respected scientists and sugar technologists. Of this government mandate, the institute was unceremonious. It brought down its efficiency in mentoring the sugar sector. Now, only recently, judging that things were going wrong, the MSIRI has regained its autonomy, and I hope it performed well. What a waste opportunity, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The World Bank has been asked to analyze and provide a solution to our ailing sugar sector. I bet it will World Bank will recruit Mauritian experts to propose remedies afflicting this sector for 5 years. At the beginning of his mandate, the Minister of Agriculture spoke about new challenges facing our sugar sector. We all remember, with all seriousness of purpose, how we mentioned the introduction of macadamia trees to complement the sugar sector on marginal lands. I think last week, he made a speech and he told us now we have been planted on the pépinière.
6,000 plants.
Now. I'm saying now. His first speech was in 2015. How many kilos of macadamia nuts have been produced so far? Nothing. Our badamia tree is not producing better nuts. What a ridiculous situation. We also remember, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that bagasse will be supplemented in electricity generation by FATAC, grown on marginal or abundant sugarcane lands. Ridiculous proposals again. These FATAC plants could not only produce barley FATAC, let alone the substitute for bagasse. Another failure, Mr. Deputy Speaker. We need to be more serious to tackle challenges in our economy. We remember that in one of the Prime Minister's budget speech, the construction of a floating oil refinery in our port area to service our oil needs, and even with export possibility was proposed. It brought a deafening applause from the government side, as loud but not as numerous as at last week's budget speech. The number of thumping sets a new record of 73 in our parliament. Do we remember, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the various ventures to invest in Africa and the Africa Fund to support it? How about the special economic zone in Senegal, the one in Ghana, the land secured for the Zone Force de la Biotechnologie and the ICT in Côte d'Ivoire? To top up this impressive list of the past budget pronouncement, we had a new addition, the Naivasha Industrial and Technological Park in Kenya. Mr. Deputy Speaker, all these are mere sound bites to be heard only at budget times. In January 2015, Mr. Deputy Speaker, at the beginning of the mandate, the government raised by 3 rupees per litre the levy on the Bill Mauritius Fund for the sale of gasoline and diesel. At the end of the mandate, they shamefully returned back this 3 rupees levy to the coroners and other road users. That announcement prompted another round of applause from government side. Monsieur le Vice-Président, il faut rendre à César ce qui appartient à César. During that period of 15 January 2015 and 10th January 2019, government sold about 950 million litres of gasoline and 2,200 million litres of diesel. That 3 rupees levy added 10 billion rupees which has been siphoned off from the pocket of road users, from the camionier and others who have been using vehicles. 10 billion rupees, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, we on this side of the House, in the past 4.5 years, we have led a relentless campaign to denounce appointment of cronies in Air Mauritius. Recently, again, Mr. Pancras has been appointed at the board of Air Mauritius and State Bank. The airport of Mauritius, I won't mention the special advisor of the Prime Minister in so many subsidiaries. The State Bank, again, Mr. Pancras has been appointed recently, last week. The GRA, an important institution which is working for one particular firm, SMS Parias, very close to government. And I won't mention the government-owned bodies and subsidiaries. Mr. Deputy Speaker, week after week, we have asked parliamentary questions. We have given names. We have given information, but nothing happened. And I still remember I was sitting there, government, one of the first statements. Henceforth, this new government would not appoint chairmen using big cars, BMW, Mercedes. They won't have officers. They will be part-time. What's happening at the MMA? Palto Croisé, the chairperson. He was a transfer of the PMSD, former PMSD president. Now transfer of the going to MSM. His salary is nearly 200,000 rupees monthly. At the CEB, the Deputy Prime Minister replied, the chairperson of the CB, using such type of Mercedes, having such type of, and I won't mention the subsidiaries. And here it was promised, it's in writing, that this government won't do as it was the case before. New procedures, appointment of relative and friends. Do I have to remind government, male and female? Mr. Speaker, I have also exposed abuse of ministers and government officials through PQs. It's there. Executives of state-owned bodies and parastatals in their traveling excursions and their per diem allowance. Recently going to Festival de Cannes. I'm coming with another PQ, some information. Festival de Cannes. We all know what's happening in our tourism industry. And when the reply is given to us, go and check. We are given the information for fees paid for traveling, but no information on per diem. You go and have to look according to approved rates. How would I know the approved rates? What would be? This is come from public money. The people of Mosa would like to know how much has been spent. The taxpayer and public were incensed with such grotesque losses, so much that the Prime Minister himself has brought down the money allocated for that time. So the Prime Minister knows who are the recidivists, who are the ones who are abusing. Abuse of parliamentary practice and procedures have been hallmark of his government. And in so doing, they have set bad precedents and which will need to be rectified by the government. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I've sat and watched many palavers of the past 4.5 years and listened to unfulfilled promises of the government, whispering its last political breath. Mr. Speaker, all what I'm saying has happened here. It's on record, and I think it's our duty, and will come at committee stage to query government item by item. I hope, and I can say for sure, for the past 4 budgets, we have raised so many queries at committee stage. And it will be good that Madam Speaker, can have some work be done and let us know how many of these queries we have asked, how many questions we have asked at committee stage, how many replies have been circulated at the library. Going to deaf ears, so we'll be circulating. Will we like to know? The public will like to know. Monsieur le Vice-président, je voudrais maintenant aborder le volet environnemental de ce discours du budget. Un sujet qui est aujourd'hui au cœur des préoccupations des jeunes à Maurice et aux 4 coins de la planète. Commençons par le plus évident et le plus révoltant, la gestion des déchets. Même j'ai lu l'autre jour, au niveau du G20, ils sont en train de prendre au niveau des déchets marines. Aux abords la situation d'aujourd'hui, aux abords des routes, les terrains vagues, à la lisière des forêts de l'État, les longs des berges des rivières, dans les lagons. En dépit des milliards investis dans les services de voirie des collectivités locales, dans les stations de transfert, Manchicose, à la Beach Authority et ailleurs, le pays reste sale, avec les risques que cela comporte pour la santé de nos compatriotes, pour l'écologie et l'industrie touristique. 2 ans après avoir lancé la campagne Maurice nous jolis pays, la situation n'a pratiquement pas changé. Je me rappelle, l'ancien ministre Soudan avait présidé des comités, la MBC, les gants, cleaning, t-shirt. Le vice-président, pire, Maurice est aujourd'hui un pays négligé au niveau de l'environnement. I'm sad to say that. Et dans bien d'autres sens également. Chiens errants. Pardon, il n'y a pas que il n'y a que des maîtres errants, en vrai. Les rats et les autres insectes nuisibles profitent avantageusement de cette aubaine. Allez demander un petit secours au niveau de MSO à Rosil, ils n'ont pas de moyens. Le problème des chiens errants est non seulement un problème dans les régions urbaines, mais au niveau des plages publiques, au niveau de l'industrie touristique. Le Premier ministre propose maintenant un méga National Clean Campaign qui sera entreprise par les départements du secteur public et privé. Une initiative qui vient confirmer l'échec de la campagne lancée par le Premier ministre depuis 2 ans. C'est un échec. Le Premier ministre vient l'avouer en maintenant lancer un méga road. La grande trouvaille, cette fois-ci, est la création d'un Centralized Cleaning Coordination Committee. Un peu comme les inspecteurs de nid de poule du ministre Bouddha. Allez voir l'état des routes. Une manière d'enfoncer une porte ouverte quand il existe déjà un Coordination Committee au niveau de l'Environment Protection Act. La solution n'est pas que les comités. Il faut un leadership, une vision, une stratégie, mais évidemment la participation populaire. Ce n'est pas une grande opération de nettoyage qui changera durablement les choses. Je disais que ces détritus sont partout. Ils ne se sont pas tombés du ciel, évidemment, au long des routes périphériques, parce que le conducteur qui l'aura jeté, qui n'a toujours pas réalisé que c'est lui, contribuable, qui payera en finalité pour le ramassage. Aux abords des forêts, débris de construction et de rénovation, en l'absence des décharges municipales abordables. Dans nos villes et dans nos villages, parce que la gestion souffre de la mainmise du pouvoir central et ne sont maintenant que des appendices d'un parti. Il faut reconnaître que les incivilités répétées de certains n'arrangent guère les choses. Cependant, il faut aussi reconnaître que ne pas salir est aussi une attitude sociale qui est façonnée par la qualité de la gouvernance ambiante, l'exemple venant toujours d'en haut. Si l'indiscipline prévaut sur les routes, dans les lieux publics, et qu'il y a un sentiment de laisser-aller généralisé au niveau de la gestion des affaires du pays, et que les passe-droits et les autres abus sont légion, pourquoi devrait-il attendre que le citoyen va respecter scrupuleusement les règles de l'environnement? Si l'industrie de course du jeu, que certaines institutions sont pourries, pourquoi l'environnement serait-il plus propre? Si les feuilletons Boscalis et autres continuent avec des épisodes interminables, comment vous pensez la population peut suivre? Il y a certainement un effet de cause. La vision, le PM annonce à la fois une stratégie de gestion des déchets, réduction, réutilisation, recyclage, et un incinérateur qui bouffera 1000 tonnes par jour, je suppose, pour générer 20 MW d'électricité, soit 75% des déchets générés. Toute la stratégie élaborée par les paragraphes 370 à 376 ne serait-il donc qu'une tromperie? Je demande à être convaincu du contraire. Monsieur le vice-président, j'ai essayé d'aller consulter le rapport de IAE de ce projet, qui devrait être accessible sur le site du ministère, comme prévoit la loi. Mais il m'a été impossible de télécharger le rapport malgré toutes mes tentatives. Le délai pour la soumission des commentaires du public expire ce jeudi, et je souhaite vivement que toutes les parties concernées, y compris les jeunes qui manifestent pour l'urgence climatique les vendredis. Et ce qu'il s'agit du projet Waste to Energy à cette des technologies faibles, le gouvernement doit agir en toute transparence sur ce projet et nous surtout expliquer comment ce projet cadre avec le Brighter Future. A priori, Monsieur le Vice-président, un petit État insulaire qui chercherait à protéger et nourrir ses sols afin de produire des cultures vivrières de qualité devrait composter ces sols. La moitié des déchets sont organiques et peuvent être compostés. L'empreinte carbone de ce projet ainsi que les options plus durables doivent être prises en considération. Outre sa gestion désastreuse de l'aide aux victimes d'un désastre naturel, le ministre qui prétend préserver l'environnement s'est aussi permis de délisser le projet de tramway. C'est le gouvernement à travers le ministre de l'Environnement. Monsieur le Président, sur ce projet Métro Express, nous ne sommes pas contre le projet, mais la façon dont le projet est géré, l'opacité autour de ce projet, le IAE report qui n'a pas été rendu public. J'ai eu quelques briefs du IAE, mais au niveau du Traffic Impact Assessment, là aussi, le ministre vient nous dire qu'il faut s'adresser aux consultants du Korean Express Corporation. Monsieur le Président, tous ceux qui habitent dans la région de Beaubassin est inquiet de la situation au niveau du rond-point de Beaubassin. Les gens de Beaubassin ne savent pas comment ce projet va être opérationnel dans le rond-point de Beaubassin. Il y a toute une pagaille autour de ce projet. Et j'espère que le ministre de Bouddha, qui fait des site visits autre part dans d'autres circonscriptions du pays, aura, le courage de venir expliquer aux gens de Beaubassin, aux gens de Barclay, aux gens de la région, comment ce projet va être terminé et opérationnel en prenant en compte la sécurité des gens, surtout dans cette région de Beaubassin où il y a l'école BPS, il y a le Philippe Rivalan, il y a l'église Sacré-Cœur, il y a Place des Taxis, il y a le marché. Personne ne sait comment ce projet va être opérationnel. Voilà un peu, Monsieur le Président, ce que j'avais à dire sur ce budget. Monsieur le Vice-président, 4 ans et demi, bientôt les élections générales. J'ai entendu le ministre Djergou l'autre jour faisant état. Vendredi, le MSM est plus fort que jamais. J'ai pris note. Si le MSM est plus fort que jamais, ayez le courage de mettre 60 candidats. Ayez le courage de venir devant l'électorat avec 60 candidats. Nous allons le faire. Le MMM va aller seul aux élections avec 60 candidats et nous vous donnons rendez-vous sur le terrain. Nous vous donnons rendez-vous sur le terrain. Barrez la caisse. Merci le vice-président.